So I was kinda shocked last night when I saw the reveal trailer for Elden Ring Nightreign. I'm pretty sure we were all shocked as Miyazaki stated that he was kind of finished with Elden Ring, at least for now. But I guess bro was lying again, and we got a reveal trailer. So I'm gonna talk about what we know so far based on an interview IGN had with the lead designer, Junya Ishizaki. And I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing the name wrong. But before I get into what we know so far, here's the trailer if you missed it.
Seekers of redemption, you were chosen, thrown together by forces beyond our control. Tragedy must be averted. And for that, I need your help.
Stand tall. The night is far from over. Little pillager, bent on stacking the lands of gold. I will swat away any and all who dare approach.
Band together and prepare to claim. The life of the Night Lord.
The first thing we know about the game is that it's going to be a new game and not a DLC. This is said to be its own spin-off title and not connected to the main game of Elden Ring, as it's not referred to as a DLC but instead its own title. Another thing we know is that the game is set in its own parallel universe. When I first saw the trailer, I was a bit shocked and surprised, mostly because we saw some old friends and foe make an appearance, that being the Nameless King and what seemed to be an alternate version of the Firekeeper. Now this is confusing at first because we were led to believe that Elden Ring took place in its own separate universe and not connected to the Dark Souls games at all. But here's the thing, according to Ishizaki, the game takes place in a spin-off parallel universe of sorts. Again, basically meaning it doesn't have anything to do with the main continuity of Elden Ring, but instead has its own separate lore that's similar but different from base game. Another thing we know about the game is that it is not a battle royale. When asked by the IGN interviewer whether the game would have a battle royale PvP mode, Ishizaki replied by saying, "Currently there are no plans. We wanted to first and foremost concentrate on this 3-player co-op experience, so that's the main focus for now." This kind of put me at ease because from the trailer it did seem like the game would be like a battle royale. I mean, the night tide closing in, the fast paced movement, all of that. But it is described as being a session based game, so I don't know, it's probably going to be similar to Monster Hunter. And speaking of that, what is the game about and what are the objectives? Well, based on the IGN article, it states, Players must hustle to defeat enemy camps and find more powerful weapons so that when nightfall comes, they have a better chance of surviving a challenging boss encounter. If players survive for 3 in-game days, they must take on a major boss, with 8 major bosses to be found and conquered in the game. This seems a bit confusing, but I guess it's probably similar to Monster Hunter again, where the main objective is to take down a particular big bad boss for each mission or days. Another thing we know is that the game will be more of an action game rather than an RPG. In their interview, Ishizaki also states that the game won't have the same level up system like the base game of Elden Ring, as this is more fast paced. The game will also have 8 playable characters with their own set of skills and ultimate abilities. And speaking about fast pace, let's take a look at the combat and overall movement. Combat and gameplay from what I've seen seems super fast, as the character was dashing around swiftly and scaling walls easily. And there was a shot where the character was using a Sekiro-like parrying, which makes me excited, and hopefully it's not just a temporary skill. I'm assuming it's probably locked to one of the 8 playable characters. The character also uses this bird as a way of traveling to certain areas, but it seems like the bird is only fixed to these certain areas and not something you can freely ride. Now let's talk about the setting. The game seemed to mostly take place in a randomized version of Limgrave. As you can see, there were some other areas in the trailers as well, but in the interview, Ishizaki mostly mentioned Limgrave, so I'm not sure. And finally, let's talk about the bosses. In the interview, Ishizaki states that the game would have 8 boss types and there would be a final boss of each day. But the most interesting thing he said is that there's going to be an ultimate final boss that's connected to the Night Tide, which makes me wonder if Nightreign is going to have the same level of story as Elden Ring. Maybe not as deep, but the fact that the game has an ultimate final boss makes me super interested. And that was it for the things we know about the game so far. Hopefully this game turns out to be good, as it seems like FromSoft is now in their experimental phase. What grabbed me the most about the trailer was the combat and overall gameplay. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you guys excited for this or a bit skeptical? Just let me know down below. Also, the link to the interview is in the description if you want to check that out. But yeah, that's it.
Seekers of redemption, you were chosen, thrown together by forces beyond their control. Tragedy must be averted. And for that, I need your help.
Stand tall. The night is far from over. Little pillager, bent on stacking the lands of gold. I will swat away any and all who dare approach.
Band together and prepare to claim. The life of the Night Lord.